And we begin with Israel, which has inched towards holding a third election as Benny Gantz failed to form a government. Gantz was given a mandate by the Israeli president last month after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu failed to secure the majority in the second elections again. Lawmakers now have 21 days to nominate a candidate with majority support. If that fails, an election will be triggered in another 90 days.
I ran into a wall of losers who did everything to prevent the Israeli citizens from benefiting from a government under my leadership.
Netanyahu responded immediately after Benny Gantz's announcement, saying that he remained open to talks in the coming weeks. Gantz also said that he was not giving up on avoiding new elections.
Benjamin Netanyahu must remember that Israel is still a democracy, even if he doesn't like it, and the election results require him to negotiate directly without blocks and separation fences.
For Netanyahu, not securing a fifth term as Prime Minister has legal implications, as it may increase his vulnerability to a possible indictment on corruption charges. For his part, though, Netanyahu denies any wrongdoing. Israel's Attorney General is expected to announce within days whether he intends to charge Netanyahu with bribery, fraud and breach of trust in 3 separate cases. Meanwhile, the kingmaker, Avigdor Lieberman, blamed both Netanyahu and Gantz for the deadlock and said that his party would back neither.
אם אנחנו נתגלגל לבחירות בגלל היעדר מנהיגות. אחד לא היה מוכן לקבל מתווה הנשיא, השני לא היה מוכן להיפרד מגוש חרדי משיחי.
Israel's President Reuven Rivlin had called on Netanyahu and Gantz to form a national unity government, but they could not agree to a power-sharing deal. The talks ended between the two over who would serve as Prime Minister first. And now we have our West Asia Bureau Chief, Daniele Pagani, joining us live from Amman in Jordan. For more on that, Daniele, thank you so much for being with us here on WION Dispatch. The crisis in Israel is only mirroring that of Brexit in the UK in terms of, talks continuing, new resolutions, new elections. England is going for new elections on the 12th of December. And, there's a very good chance that in a span of 12 months, Israel will go to polls for the third time again.
Absolutely yes, Krishna, because if we are to take a picture of the Israeli political arena right now, nothing has changed since the last elections. At the end of the day, there has been no credible talk about forming a government. Netanyahu tried and failed because he doesn't have enough seats to secure a majority. The same happened to Benny Gantz, his main rival. He failed even to form a minority government. So now the scenario is that we have the two main contenders who are absolutely unwilling to join forces. Why so? Well, because their political future is at stake. If Benny Gantz gives it to Netanyahu and makes a deal with him, and he will have him, Netanyahu, as the first prime minister for the first 2 years, all the voters who voted Benny Gantz instead of Netanyahu will definitely not be happy. And in case the government falls and they go to anticipated elections, well, he will not be absolutely lucky. So we are at a stalemate, and it seems very unlikely that the option that Israel now has, which means any of the members of parliament coming up with a majority, will actually happen, and the country is definitely headed towards a third round of election. I'm not sure how Israelis will be happy about this, and if they will actually protest against the two main parties, voting maybe smaller parties and creating an even more complex atmosphere.
And, it's never good to second guess, but if I were to ask you if there is going to be a third elections, Daniela, we're talking about at a time when there is there's a clear intent from Netanyahu and Israel when it comes to the Jordan Valley, when it comes to settlements in the occupied West Bank, to legitimize them. So in a sense, Netanyahu has scored political points by pushing for the annexation of the Jordan Valley. Do you think that could change the election the third time around and give Netanyahu a more decisive mandate?
That is surely going to help me, to help him, I beg your pardon, when it comes to the right-wing voters, particularly those inside the settlements. But that was already his vote bank. On the other hand, I think Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is gambling very hard, because the fact that it seems that he does not want to become the second man on the stage. He wants at all costs to be the Prime Minister of Israel, even if he doesn't have the number, even if he failed to form a government. And this is not going to play in his favor, because it looks like he's hanging on to power without any reasonable, any credible reason, any reliable reason in order to do so. It seems that now he's being arrogant, politically speaking, clearly, and this is what is being perceived by many voters in Israel. They do not understand how is it possible that the man who led the country for 10 years cannot accept that he needs maybe to take just one step back and let others occupy the office that he, at the end of the day, held for more than a decade, and pretty successfully so.
Daniele Pagani, our West Asia Bureau Chief, joining us live from Amman and Jordan with that perspective on the goings-on in Israel. Thank you, Daniele, for being with us here on WION Dispatch.